Hello, screenwriters, and welcome to Writing for Screens, the screenwriting step-by-step journey, step 81. We are here doing a project in which I am letting you look over my shoulder and share my screen as I work my way through a TV drama pilot script from rough idea through the outline to the rough draft, that's where we are now, and then into a polished draft and finished presentation. That's the plan. That is the journey we are on, and this is day 80 through 81. 81 of I don't know how many. I am here every Monday through Friday, if I can make it, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time Zone. And I am here live doing this session to try and show you one way to do screenwriting. It's not the only way, it's not the best way, it's the way that I worked out teaching myself over the past 25 years as a professional screenwriter and TV writer. Thought I would show it to you because nobody else seems to show you the day-to-day nitty-gritty kind of work that actually goes into building a script. Hello, Javier. What could possibly go wrong? Actually, you need to have the margarita on the right, I think. That's the thing. Hello, this is Kitschy. You know, I might start getting a margarita to go along with this. That would make for some interesting writing. Hello, Andrea. For those of you who are not live, which is going to be most of you watching this, it's okay. I don't mind. I prepared for that. You can still ask me questions. All you got to do is go to writingforscreens.com, which is my website. And on that website, there's a little bunch of contact me buttons. They're all over the place on almost every page. And you can click one, it'll open a little window, let you write me an email that goes directly to me, and I will try to answer it directly back. If you, for some reason, don't like websites, although this is one, just don't want to break it to you, you can actually ask me a question here in the comments. You can just put a question or a comment in the comment to any video on my channel, and I'll see it, and I will try my best to answer. Hello, Mally MFC. It is good to be back, continuing the process, continuing the journey, getting ourselves through this. And the nice thing about this is I am beginning to see the end of the first draft here. We are past the halfway point. We are heading towards the bottom of the second act, end of the third act, although TV scripts do not always have 3 acts. Most of them don't. But I was trained in screenwriting. I grew up in screenwriting. I tend to think 3 acts, or at least I think beginning, middle, and end. And that's really what 3 acts is. The introductory section, the meat in the middle, and the big conclusion at the end, the big twists and turns and surprises that make you want to come back for more. That's what we're working on. So let's look at it. Let's take a look here at the outline, see where we are. We are at our eternal so far so good. Yesterday, we worked up the rough draft of Nadosky getting home to his meth lab. And so today, I think, although we are going to eventually intercut these, I'm on a Dundosky roll. I think probably the thing to do is to just continue on that, get part 2 done, and then we'll do part 1 and 2 of Arvin McLean and then Nurse Shrimpton. So that's the plan, and I very boldly said in my description of this episode that you got to put on YouTube, we're going to finish this sequence. You know what? We're not going to finish the sequence. It's really 5 scenes, and there's no way I'm going to write 5 scenes in an hour. So let's see how far we can get. That's the name of the game. The name of the game is making progress, not getting everything done at once. That's the kind of valuable screenwriting insight you get here and nowhere else. That's probably not true. You probably do get it somewhere else, but you don't get it this way. All right. So now, what we know is that they are going to be going to the corner of 4th and River. That was the disputed territory. So let's think about that. Oh, good, a distraction. Always good to procrastinate with questions. A question, if I may. Is it better for the 3-act structure or like TNG era Star Trek trying to expand it to 5 acts? Okay, I will briefly get into this because it's valid. It's a good question and it relates to what we're doing. The answer is the 5-act, or sometimes it's 6 acts, whatever they call acts in old school television is really sections before commercial breaks. That's what an act is in television from the 1950s up through very recently, and still in broadcast television, commercial television, where they have to stop for commercials. They create a structure which allows for the commercial breaks. So that's what an act is. It has nothing to do with dramatic structure. It is purely a commercial requirement, a business requirement, that they have a structure which is set up according to commercials. So yeah, teaser plus 5 acts. Sometimes they call it, whatever. Every company really has their own rules, but basically, the structure of television was created in order to make commercial breaks. You tried to have something happen right before the break so as to keep the audience from turning to another show during the commercials. Hence, you were always building to a revelation, a change, something at the end of the act. Shakespeare, meanwhile, had 5 acts because I don't know why. They did. That's the way it was done in Elizabethan England. 5 seemed a good idea. I believe in ancient Greece it was 2 or maybe just 1. I don't know. They would have scenes, but I don't believe they took act breaks. What is the meaning of an act? An act is just a clump of scenes. It's not even a sequence. It's just a section of the structure. So that's the answer to that. Is it better? Depends. If you're working for a company that asks you to do that, it's better. If you're not, you should do whatever you want. Especially now in streaming, where they don't have commercial breaks on most streaming shows. Your acts are internal. They're psychological. They are emotional. An act is whatever section you feel it needs to be for you to organize the story. Some streaming services, Hulu and I think Paramount and some others, they actually leave commercial breaks. And then if you're watching the non-commercial version, there's just a little blackout. So this is way good procrastination for me because I don't know what I'm going to write here. Okay. Okay, let's take a second and think. This is a really good example of the process. I have a sequence here, and I do not know what I'm going to write. So I don't know how to write it. I can just write hello, 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 Jose, hello, Ellen. The more you know. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, they had to make that probably because the book had a structure of its own. But yeah, you can make anything. There's actually no rule. Although feature films, they tend to think the studios, the companies, the producers, everybody tends to think 3 acts. Fincher and Zalian can do what the hell they want because they are big powers. They are. If they're not 800-pound gorillas, they are 600. They are big gorillas. They can say, this is how we're doing it, and if you don't like it, goodbye. to a certain extent. All right. Sometimes the answer is goodbye. I believe Fincher asked for a lot of money for Mindhunter Part 3, Season 3. And I don't believe that was personal money he wanted. It was, he thought the show needed a certain amount of budget. He always asks for huge budgets. He almost never gets them. And therefore, he doesn't do a lot of projects that he was intending to. All right. Let's see. So here's the point. We've got a scene. In this scene, we need to get okay, so the first thing we need to do is think about what the violence is going to be. He said Dundosky, who spells differently every day, Dundosky said, get the machine guns. And I may change that because machine guns, you know, it's not the kind of violence we want to see here. So that's probably going to change. It should be something interesting, something unusual. So let's just ask ourselves, what is the violence? That is what we are asking ourselves. You keep thinking that you're ready to write something, and then the truth is you're not, and you have to stop and ask the question. Now, I, in general, would, if I was not doing this publicly and having everyone watching, I would take an extra few months to actually plot out every bit of this in the outline before I started writing, so I wouldn't be getting to this point where I am writing and then I have to stop and go back to the outline and ask really basic questions like, what the hell happens in this scene? But I actually think that, first of all, I think a lot of times this is fair. The reason I overplan it is anxiety, is fear that I will lose my way. And so I just go over the outline over and over and ask these questions before I even start writing. It's kind of fun, I have to say. It has been rather enjoyable to plunge into this going as fast as I can and saying, you know what the hell? I've done this before. I am confident at this point that when we get to this scene, I'll figure it out. And that'll actually be interesting for you guys to watch. So that's what we're doing here. It's not the only way. I know lots of writers who will not, like if you were doing this for a TV show that was on the air, they wouldn't let you get away with an outline this empty. They would say, we need to know what the scenes are, what the violence is, what the beats are of each scene. It's called a beat sheet. They do what they call breaking the story, and they have a big whiteboard, usually a couple of whiteboards, and they write down every step of the episode. And then they have somebody type that up in a nice readable form, and they submit that to the network or the company. And then when that's approved, they go write the script. We ain't doing that because we don't have to. All right, so let's get back to it here. Oh, yes, gosh. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Wait, are we talking about the live-action Shyamalan version or the animated version? I vote animated version. The animated version of Avatar: The Last Airbender is a magnificent series, really well written. Also, hello. Okay. Okay, so let's get back to this. What kind of violence? It should be something with a little bit of cleverness and wit, but not too much because we still want to see brutality. For some reason, I'm thinking fire. I've been thinking. I'm thinking. You know what else I'm thinking? I'm thinking this should not be on the corner because the person responsible for this violation of the order of things is not the street dealer. Dundosky is going after the guy who sent them to the corner, not the guys on the corner. So it is going to be at Big Leon's headquarters and get the something. And then we have to decide where does Big Leon work out of? That's the next question. All right, Larry. Okay, so Jose, I will not answer this right now because I can talk about that. I think I will talk about that during a big AMAA. Let me actually just grab a quick screenshot of this question. There we go. So I can answer it more appropriately when I have time to really reason that out and talk about it. And also, I do actually want to get some work done today, and I don't. And so far, I am not. I am just losing my grip of this process. All right. So where does Big Leon work out of? Let's think of someplace fun. Should it be someplace crowded? I don't care about budget because we're not going to get this made. So it might as well be someplace interesting. Okay. Okay. I like when things are no problem. Cool. All right. So for abandoned mall, I actually like abandoned malls, but they have gotten a little overused. Big Leon, where does he work? Where would be a cool scene? Maybe abandoned mall. What the heck? And for some reason, I keep thinking amusement park, like a working shabby amusement park. Where else could it be? I mean, the reality is it would be somewhere fairly remote. And Ellen suggests library. And you know what? That would be really good, except it would make Big Leon more interesting than Dundosky, and we can't have that. Okay. I'm thinking it should end with a bang. All right. You know, for the moment, I'm just going to make it an abandoned mall because I don't want to spend an hour figuring that out. So the question is, what is the violence? Now, the thing is, I would like it to be more hands-on, more personal. And yet, the truth is there would be a lot of people with a lot of guns. And therefore, it would be unusual to be able to do that. So that means how does he avoid a shootout? Yes, indeed. Amusement park just seems so fun. Something electrical, perhaps. That's not a bad idea. Although I don't want to get so action moved. I mean, like I want this to be kind of plain, because I don't want it to be like he uses a EMP and blows out the electrical system, and then in the dark he beats somebody up. That's too Marvel movie, and this is supposed to be more sort of shocking that it is that it is just plain. So The question is, how does he avoid a shootout? That's the issue now, is that if you're going to beat up a guy who has supporters who have guns, why would they not? Well, he could get at an odd. Yes, the cliches are good. I was thinking church. I was thinking that that they couldn't have a shootout if it was church. And the question is, does he know that? Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, church. That's what we're going to do. And what day is it? And it's Wednesday, right? Yeah. Yep. All right. Yes, this is my actual thinking. In movies, gangs work on an honor system where, like, if the guys are having a fist fight, the rest of them wait respectfully. And I keep thinking that's not right. They shoot each other. They would not just wait respectfully. Just like people don't wait to, like, oh, you hit me, then you wait until the other guy hits you back. Boom, 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 because that's how they've choreographed it, and it always looks fake. Fights don't look like that. So I'm trying to figure out the good line. What I'm going to do here is basically Dundusky is going to say, is essentially making up his mind. He knows that Big Leon goes to church, regular services. So it's like 10 o'clock Wednesday is this service. And, he knows where his enemies are at given times, what their rituals are. But what I'm trying to figure out is how much to give away here and how much to give away, like, to wait and then cut to him arriving at church. So I don't have the answer to that yet, but I don't want to give it away here. Probably don't need every one of these steps. He could probably just say, like, okay, 10 o'clock. Yeah. That's where we're going with this, is church. Interior, church. Morning. Okay. Nah, he's gonna just be um, it's either that or a golf course. But I think that church is the way I want to go. It just seems so wrong. Um, so then the question is, yeah, but and would you say that if somebody said what time is it, would you tell them what day it is? I don't think so. Yeah, that's better. Oh, what the heck? Hold on there. Sorry about that, folks. Let's get this. There, my camera decided to take a break. That's not good. What's wrong with my camera? Hold on. This is disturbing. I apologize. There we go. Okay, that's it. Hello, we're back. All right, there we go. All right. I am taking too long on this, but this is often what happens. Um, no, it's not screenwriting Gremlins. It's fancy camera and software Gremlins. Screenwriting would never do that to us. Okay, so let's just get to this now. All right, so it's going to be church and it's going to be a beating, and now we know all of this. So the question is. Does everything suddenly go black? Is that what happens to you? I gotta say, I know the feeling. All right. So the question is, does Dundosky change clothes for this? Because I'm trying to picture. I picture a nice. It's a. Small, light, airy, local Catholic church. Is it Catholic? I think so. I think I want these people to be going to a. So the well, the thing is, the light, airy, like. The truth is, it could be. I'm just small, light, airy. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the picture of. I don't want it to seem like a dark, old-fashioned church. I want it to be more of a, actually, kind of Protestant-y, like white and yellow and pretty, because I want this to be very inappropriate. This behavior. Only a few parishioners. singing "I Do Not Know Enough About What Happens in This Church" to get too into this. So among them, Big Leon. Late 20s, Big Leon. Very large, burly, shaved head with many tattoos. All right, so we're getting the picture. This is a good question. What city are we in again? We don't know. It's in made-up unknown city. We have not identified the city. I believe it's somewhere on a river. That's all I know. But there are many rivers in the middle of America, and that is where we are. Okay, so now here's a raw. Now remember, what we got to get to here is a conversation. A conversation between Dundosky and Marcus about justice and revenge. And the problem is, this is not an appropriate. This is not a moment that encourages conversation during the violence, and I kind of wanted that. So. Well, let's get the dialogue in there, and then we'll figure out what we might do. Is eventually have them coming out of this. All right, we'll figure this out later. This is the important thing. We are going to get the pieces here. Get us some justice. All right. Yes, it may end up being that. It could be a conversation that starts right before the thing. But I kind of, yeah, we'll see. I had originally thought of it as during, but in fact, it is unlikely that they could do that. So. Justice implies, he's not going to say implies, justice means this isn't justice. Talking about what are you talking about? Justice. for the moment. Yeah, it could be. I wanted something prettier, but I hear you. Okay. It's not going to put a. It's not going to. Yeah. So, in a way, I am doing what they call punting, which means just kicking it a little bit down the field, but not really getting that far. I am just getting the basic pieces of this scene. It will eventually come together, possibly before they go in, waiting outside. Boop, boop. Okay, this is just a note to myself. So that's why I'm doing it like this. All right. All right, so I at least have the point. Actually, it's not even revenge. This is just a power play. This is just a power struggle. This is business. So actually, remember all that stuff about revenge? I'm not sure that it's going to actually apply because the truth is this isn't revenge. Yeah. Okay. And then, all right, so we can do. Okay, so that's what's going to happen here. Yes, I do, but this is not one of those cases. Ideally, I try not to do that because going backwards often you just end up, unless you're going to see something you completely didn't remember, you end up working on the stuff that leads up to it. And although if the problem is there, that's fine. But usually, like in a case like this, the problem is just I haven't thought this through. This is not a real big deal problem. This is just me starting a scene without having thought about it. And so I'm not actually stuck. When you are stuck, let's talk about this for a second. It's interesting. When you get stuck, oh, look at that. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, I zoomed out a little. That's what's going on. Hold on. There we go. All right. When you get stuck, yes, it can be useful to reread it. I honestly don't recommend that. You then tend to dwell on the part that you've already solved. And what you really should do is spend more time on the description, the outline, the plan for the thing you don't have, or especially look at the moment you're stuck on and figure out why you're stuck on it. Is it that you haven't, in this case, the reason that I'm not like throwing down words a lot is because I actually don't know what's going to happen. I have not figured out what the violence is, what the location is, just basic stuff about the scene. So that's not stuck. That's, I haven't done the work yet. I have not planned enough to invent. When you get stuck is when you have done all of that and you know what it is, and for some reason it's not working because there's a hidden conflict that you didn't realize, like, oh, this doesn't go with some other part, that kind of thing. So then you have to stop and say, why am I stuck? What particular, is it that I don't trust this? Is it that I have stumbled into an unrecognized logic problem? Is it that I don't really know this character? There will be a reason. And so I advise not going back to the beginning if you can help it, but really stopping and saying, well, why am I stuck? So that's actually where I would go with this. In this case, I am not stuck. I have just been lazy. I have not yet figured out what's going to happen. So this scene, I'm even going to make a note. This scene hasn't been figured out enough yet. I'm going to make that a point. I'm going to make it a big one. Boom. Idea for a scene, but not there yet. Okay. So yeah, sometimes you just haven't given it enough thought, and that is where I am right now. Likewise, this is not enough. I do not yet know where this happens, how he fails. Where does this happen? How does he fail? It's always question. Oh, you can't see what I'm writing. Hold on. There we go. All right. So I made a note to myself, this scene hasn't been figured out enough yet. That's the thing. The problem here is not that I'm stuck. It's that I have not made a choice. Make a damn choice. See, that's the thing. That's what you got to do. Oh, cool. All right. When you get stuck. Yeah, I'm going to actually make some videos about this, but I'll also talk about it here. The first thing to do is figure out what kind of stuck are you? Like right now, I'm not stuck. I'm, well, now it is, isn't it? All right. Can't you see this now? Yeah, this is here, right? You see this? Okay, so where does this happen and how does he fail? These are the next things we're going to need to know. Horrifically violent. I don't know how yet, but that's what's going to happen. He's going to be horrifically violent. Yeah. Okay. So that is where we are. Now I have a choice. I can either work some more on this scene or do some things on this scene so that next time I will be a little better prepared than I was here. And I think I'm going to do that because this one is going to be fine. I know what's got to happen is that he's got to be both reasonable and violent. Then I'm also wondering if Big Leon shouldn't be little. You know, I made him very large, and that's good because uh, it makes him an admirable. But it's sort of funny um, if Big Leon is like little, and then it's even worse that Dundowski's is. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, let's just think about McLean for a moment. For some reason, I keep thinking this should be like a gym or something, or some place where people are. I'm going to have to think about this. Yeah, we're in an interesting territory here because you are seeing me flounder because I have not made choices. I have not made decisions. I have not thought about who McLean is enough to understand what I have to show here. At least with Dundowski, I know what I have to show, which is he is sort of split. He's got this reasonable good side and this brutal horrible side. Yes, absolutely, it is. This is a definite mob movie thing. Um, all right, but make a damn choice. Okay. Okay. We're coming up on 50 minutes, so I think I'm going to stop now, and then we're going to get back to this next time. Except no, tomorrow I do not think I will make it. I'm going to try, but if I can't, I will be posting a new video on the subject of instinct, screenwriting essentials. New video coming out tomorrow, so look for that. Instinct. It's actually a good one. It's important, big topic. And that's where we are. That's it. This is. I hope this has been educational to see when you get lost. But yeah, let's talk about in the future. Okay, I gotta just point out when I say no, I don't mean in Bruges. I don't mean little like he's a dwarf or a little person. I mean he's just physically little. He's just not big. And the I don't want to get into some kind of like David Lynchy kind of, ooh, isn't this weird? I just mean it would be more if he's actually physically big, then what we're showing is that Dundowski is sort of superheroish. He's sort of like, oh, I can take out this bigger guy. What I kind of want to show is that Dundowski is cruel, and that's the point. So, all right. So yeah, I'll see ya. Go write something.